Linda, when did you first get involved in SCWIST and how did you hear about it?
I think I saw an advertisement for joining the board. I was working at UBC at the time, based at VGH. And I think it's just, an email circular went around and I applied. And yeah, I think I spoke to Elena brief and then the rest is history.
And roughly when are the dates?
I joined in June 2008 and I left in October 2011 when I left Canada to move to Stockholm, Sweden for work.
And what's your academic background?
So I did my PhD in computational neuroscience in the UK, and then I moved to Vancouver to do my postdoctoral fellowship at the Vancouver General Hospital at University of British Columbia. And I worked there for 5 years and became involved with SCWIST during that time as well, which was a wonderful experience.
And what are you doing now?
Actually, I've just pivoted my career. So I came to Stockholm to be involved in an international neuroinformatics organization, and I was the executive director of that organization for several years. And about a year ago now, I left there and I've pivoted into entrepreneurship, and I'm launching a couple of companies.
Well, first off, what's neuroinformatics?
So neuroinformatics is the intersection of informatics and neuroscience. So it's informatics techniques applied to neuroscience. So data handling techniques and standards for handling data, so that neuroscience data is able to, from different labs, is able to be combined, and there's much more power in the volume of data then. So you have scientists around the world working according to the same standards.
Anyways, it became MRI. And what allowed it to become MRI was we could handle the data and actually generate images that were useful from it. So computer science had to progress to the point where we could actually use a chemical assay to say, well, these chemicals are being pinpointed here, and we can turn it, much as the way a satellite image is just digital information received, turned into a photo. Is that a good analysis?
So it's a bit like that. It's kind of at the meta level. So it's where everybody's data can be joined together. So, if you did have, say, MRI data from one person's brain, or, maybe you've got 10 people that have been scanned by one lab, but then you've got another 50 from another lab and another 100 somewhere else. If you can combine that data and do your analysis across a lot of joined data, then you've got a much more reliable and powerful result, and you've got neuroscientific research that can be reproduced and is more robust.
And we can hear your Jack Russell in the background. He's not annoying, but it sounds like he'd like to be part of SCWIST too at some point.
Yeah, he's pretty excited.
So what's your entrepreneurial efforts right now? What are they doing?
Yeah, so I'm launching, I've launched one company and I'm working towards another one. My first company is called Serendipity, TEA on the end. It's a tea company, Serendipitea.World. And my co-founder is a doctor of traditional Oriental medicine and herbalism. And we both had a passion for women's issues and women's wellness. And I think partly perhaps inspired by my time with SCWIST, and I had always been passionate about trying to support women and gender equality and empowering women. And I myself had been through a lot of different life stages through having my daughter quite late in life, and realizing that often, there were some areas where Western medicine wasn't really addressing those areas, and women were looking for alternative help and support. And so then I met my friend Patricia, who, as I said, is a herbalist. And I had always had this kind of secret passion for having a tea company. I don't know where that came from. Again, I think that might be very inspired by my time in Vancouver and all the many coffee shops there. And so we came up with this idea of having medicinal herbal teas to support women through different life stages. So things like fertility, pregnancy, lactation, menopause, insomnia, immunity.
And what's your other venture that you're just getting going?
Yeah, so with Serendipity, that one's only just launched on International Women's Day, actually. And sort of linked with that, I'm currently training to be a coach. And my aim is to coach women who are navigating life changes, so career pivots or big life changes or location changes. You know, I've worked and lived in the UK, Canada, and now Sweden. So I wanted to do something to support women that are really facing those changes and how to navigate them and how to be empowered and confident through those transitions.
So having experience in 3 very different countries, albeit all Western countries,
yes,
what were the problems you originally saw for women in science, and did they vary by country?